Hey, what's going on YouTube? This will be my first video in my, I guess you can call it my collection series. I'm going to go through slowly each and every one of my collections of systems and games. So starting off here will be the original Game Boy. Yeah, you can see in the background there I've got a boxed original Game Boy, a couple boxed games, and then I've got two Game Boy Pockets here. I can still remember when this pocket version came out. It was a pretty big deal. I mean, it's a much smaller system compared to the huge brick that is the original Game Boy. You know, you could actually carry this in your pocket. It was much easier to bring to school. I believe it was a few months later that the Game Boy Color came out, but I did own a pocket. I owned an original Game Boy back in the day. I owned games like I owned Tetris, of course. Who didn't? Blades of Steel. A game called Nail and Scale. Didn't have a whole lot back then, that's for sure. Most of everything I had was paid for with my paper route money, so games were hard to come by back then. And as you know, buying a game was never, a sure bet that it was going to be any good. All they had back then, I believe, they had Game Pro and Nintendo Power, so it was a little tough to, search, and find which games were actual quality games. Plus, back when you're a kid, you just buy kind of what looks cool on the box art. Oh, Kicks is another game I had. You see it boxed in the background there. I love that game on the Game Boy. Really fun. I can't even really explain what type of game that is. You're going to have to look that one up. Phenomenal game, Kicks. On the 3DS eShop, I believe. Anyways, I better get right into these games. I'll try and do this as quick as possible. I'm not going to go through and talk about each game. It'll just take forever. So we'll start with the loose carts here. First one I just picked up recently actually is Terminator 2. Actually really impressed with this game. Pretty good quality. It's complete rip-off of the arcade game. Well, it's Terminator 2 arcade, so it actually does a pretty good job of emulating it on the Game Boy. Next up, Amazing Spider-Man. Mortal Kombat. Terrible for the Game Boy Color, or Game Boy. Play Action Football. NFL Football. Yoshi's Cookie. F1 Race. I have the box in the background there, complete with the link cable. I believe you can play up to 4-player on that one, which was kind of pretty original for the Game Boy. Tiny Toon Adventures, Bab's Big Break. Wwf King of the Ring. Recent pickup here, Wizards and Warriors, Fortress of Fear. Another recent pickup, Dandelion Opus, I believe is the correct pronunciation on that. Tetris. Alleyway. Balloon Kid. Radar Mission. Again, those are all on the 3DS eShop, the last 4 there. Those were my recent pickups if you've seen my last video. Another bad label game here, James Bond 007. Next up is Bart versus the Juggernauts. This one I've got in here backwards, can't see that too well, but it's Super Mario Land 2. Phenomenal game. The best game on the Game Boy, in my opinion, again on the 3DS eShop, is Donkey Kong. Phenomenal game there. I shouldn't say the best, probably my favorite. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Phenomenal game. Classic. There's Nail and Scale, one of the original games I had back in the day. Baseball. Golf. Bo Jackson 2 games in one. Yoshi. Blades of Steel, actually pretty decent on the Game Boy. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Back from the Sewers. This is Arcade Classics 2, Centipede and Millipede. Batman Forever. And here's Kicks. Love that game. I can't remember what this one is. I believe it's a Bomberman game. I should have checked that before I did this. This is a multi-cart. 11 games. Kind of a big deal for back in the Game Boy day to see these. There's stuff like Ninja Turtles 2, Mickey Mouse, Castlevania Burger Time, Lock and Chase, Pac-Man. Some decent games there. Final Fantasy Legend. Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 2. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan. Dr. Mario, another must-have. Kirby's Dream Land. Mega Man. Mega Man 2. That's a Game Boy Color game. That shouldn't be in there. Star Wars. Snoopy's Magic Show. I'm sure that's a good one. Into the Pokemon stuff here. Pokemon Red. Pokemon Yellow, Pikachu Edition. Pokemon Blue. Pokemon Silver. And Pokemon Gold. Castlevania 2, Belmont's Revenge. I played through most of this game actually after I picked it up. Really got into it. It was quite a bit of fun. Of course, Tetris. Super Mario Land. Love that game. Actually, that's the first game that I owned with my Game Boy. And that was really cool. I remember back in the day showing that to my friends. It was mind-blowing. Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3. And the last one here, Super RC Pro-Am. Another phenomenal game. Yeah, that's it for my original Game Boy collection. Next up will be the Game Boy Color. And then I'll follow that by the Game Boy Advanced. Yeah, thanks for watching. Later.